Hello and welcome to the Velvet Revolution. I believe this is episode 20 with myself, Ben Rice, and Dave Noble. Good morning, Dave. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm good. Thank you. It's a milestone, 20.
Yeah.
Do you remember when you was 20 years old?
Can I remember when I was 20? No. Remember my 21st? My 21st
Do
was,
you? Do you
yeah.
remember your 21st? What did you
Yeah.
do for your 21st?
Yeah. Don't know. I remember getting very drunk.
Oh,
And well, I don't know. I don't know if I should admit this on here, but
what?
at the time I was looking after, like, it was a family friend who'd gone away on a holiday. My birthday's on the 5th of August, so I was
Mm.
always during some holidays.
Oh, you're a Leo.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the family friend had gone away for, I don't know, a couple of weeks, and I'd been tasked or given the job of feeding their cat. So I had keys to this person's house
Oh dear.
and a free house for 2 weeks, basically.
Free house.
Yeah,
Woo.
yeah. And I remember waking up on my 21st. Oh no, that was my 18th. Sorry. Got completely confused. 21st, I was in Australia.
1 minute you were feeding someone's cat,
That
and
was
next
my
minute you're
18th.
in
That's how
Australia.
messy it was. Yeah, the
Oh
18th
my
was, yeah, I remember waking up and I had got so drunk I'd passed out. And my friends that I was with were all asleep in various chairs in this person's front room. And I looked in the mirror and they'd drawn all over my face in felt tip.
This sounds very familiar to me,
Mm,
man.
mm,
I never got the eyebrow. You remember the dreaded
yeah.
who's gonna get the eyebrow? If
Mm.
you're lucky, you get both eyebrows. I never got the eyebrow.
No, I never got that.
I was too, I was the one that I could do the all-nighter, man, no problem. I pull an all-nighter. I'm not sleeping, man. My eyebrows are not going anywhere. But the irony now they're like, I don't know if you can see that, they're sun bleached.
Oh,
I
okay.
lose my eyebrows. I look a bit weird. It's like, I swear people look at me and they're like, "What's wrong with that guy?" And it's like, "Oh, no, my eyebrows have been bleached blonde, so I look like I've got no eyebrows."
Do you want to borrow Lottie's eyebrow pencil? I'll just have a wave with
Uh, Maybe people don't look at me weird. Maybe it's just what I think people are looking at me like,
that.
because I'm being self-conscious that I've got no eyebrows. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so
So yeah,
yeah.
that wasn't my 20th at all. So I'm lying. 18th, yeah, hideously drunk. 21st, I was in Australia. Um, yeah, 20th, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember what I did for my 20 because it's a milestone. Coming
Mm,
from like, because essentially, teenager, what's that? That's 13 is teenager,
mm-hmm,
straight through 19, and then
mm-hmm.
20, you're like, apparently you're a full grown dude, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Meant to be an
Yeah.
adult. I mean, I was definitely like, nah, I still feel like that now. I still feel like yeah, anyway, yeah, 20. It's 20 episodes, man. We've done 20 episodes. That's
Mm.
pretty impressive. For anyone that's not done this, what we've done, believe you me, it's quite a feat. And if
If
you
you
are,
want to listen to all 20, give us a shout and
yeah,
give you a gold badge.
I'll just go get some, the birthday cards with 20 on them.
Yeah, yeah.
You can have one of them. Okay, man. Yeah, so yeah, I'm all right. I'm good. Just quick, where am I at? Yeah, I'm just feeling really. It just, I always share this when I've been in nature. I just feel really fucking nature for me, connection to nature. I just feel really good. Makes me feel really energized. Feel really like that belong. We always go on about it on here about feeling like we belong on planet Earth. Well, if you connect to planet Earth, then you belong. You
Mm-hmm.
feel like you belong. It's that simple. It's really quite elementary, rudimental.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been for some dives since we last spoke. And I had a really good one last night. And I had this life affirming experience last night in the water. And I always talk about that. We always talk about that, don't we? Life affirming experiences which make us feel connected, alive, the spirit of being human. Mm, you know? Um, that was really unenthusiastic. Mm.
Sorry, no, I was.
Mm.
Mm. What did you do, Dave?
No, it was just I had it last time I had this was properly was in I was very lucky enough to go to the Maldives. I've shared about this before, I'm sure. But it's my happy place
Yeah.
that I go to. It's one of the happy places I go to, swimming with the fishes.
Hmm.
And last night, I mean, it's where I am isn't the Maldives. It's not bath warm water, but it's pretty clear. It's pretty nice considering where we are in the grand scheme of things in North Europe. It's pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and uh, yeah, I was swimming with like so Carlo. Hi Carlo, if you're listening. He's like like becoming a bit of a buddy, as in the water.
Swim buddy.
Yeah, you need someone like that, otherwise, And we're starting to get really into it because I
Hmm.
think I've shared on here before about the whole spearfishing thing and the
Yeah, yeah.
diving stuff. So, but last night we were end of day yesterday was in really in this sort of like we had to enter the water in rocks.
Okay.
It was quite, quite barren, wild feeling of like, like we said it, we're on the edge of the water and we're sort of putting our fins on and getting masked up and that. And we're like, this is really cool, and it's just like really sort of primitive, you know what I mean? And he's got his like lobster hook, right? So,
Okay.
he's gone and bought a diving knife, right? So he's starting to look the part now.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm starting to get like FOMO, feeling
Right.
a bit inferior. Anyway, so we're in the water, and he's unbeknownst to me, I'm sort of he's near me, but I can't see him. But this shoal of fish, like a huge shoal of fish, they're only like I'm not sure what they were, but they look like anchovies.
Right.
Little tiny
Yeah,
little
yeah.
silvery, really shiny, really bright fish. A whole school, like a whole shoal of them, came around me and past me. And unbeknownst to me, when we got out, he said to me, "Oh, I scared that shoal into you, so they sort of came over you." And I started to swim with them, and I was
Okay.
under, and obviously I'm snorkeling, but I went underwater, and so I'm in with the shoal, and it was just one of those moments. I'm sorry if I'm boring anyone, but it's just one of them moments for me that's just so magical. You're sort of you're underwater. It's like being in space. There's no
Hmm.
gravity. There's no sense of gravity when you're underwater, and you just feel like you're just nothing else matters in that moment. It's pure consciousness in that moment. It's pure present time consciousness and connection to the whole, you know, and it's just freaking beautiful. Anyway, so that's why I'm feeling so stoked today because I'm beaming with life
Good
because of that
energy.
experience, yeah, and I can't wait to go back in, yeah.
So were you swimming like literally out in the middle of the sea once you're off the rocks, or not
Yeah,
middle of the
yeah,
sea, but
yeah.
you're deep?
Yeah, I mean, we're hugging. Yeah, I mean, it we're hugging the coastline, so
Right.
there's no people on there's no beach there. So,
Mm.
and you've got safety buoys, and then above and not above, beyond them, you're in open water essentially.
Hmm.
But you can see the shelves where they drop down, and when it gets sort of visibility starts to fade,
Yeah.
and all sense of life starts to fade, you know you're
Yeah.
you're getting a little bit deeper, and it's quite a scary thing, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is.
It really is. So I've decided to buy a knife.
Because they'll protect you.
It's one of them ones that you strap on your arm,
Yeah.
you can put it on your forearm or your bicep, but I'm going to put it on my biceps.
Can you have it on your calf? Can you have it on your leg?
You can, but I'm going to put it on my arm because it's quicker reach.
Okay.
Now, to anyone listening, I'm not a psychopath, right? It's only when I dive, and it's just in case it's a safety precaution.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not that we've got anything to worry about. I'm not going to go around killing things in the water, but
But
it's just nice to have one, right?
yeah. Yeah. It looks cool.
Actually, if I'm honest, it's because it looks freaking cool, man. Anyway,
that
that's me.
that
Sorry
that
if I've waited on too long now.
no, 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 that was nice. Well, that actually ties in with what I was saying on my 21st in Australia. That's what I did. I was out on the Barrier Reef with on a cruise, That's what I treated myself to for my 21st. And I remember this. They dropped us off at this. It was like islands of barrier reef,
Yeah, yeah.
like circles of them, and there was, I don't know, there's about 20 of these circles,
Mm,
and you could swim from one to the other, but obviously in between these circles was just, they were on, like, I don't know, giant stalks, these things, and then in between was just sheer drop, just
yeah,
blackness,
yeah. It's
because we
scary.
were in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah.
And I remember the guy dropping us off saying, yeah, if you see any sharks, if they've got stripes, he said, those are fine. He said, it's the ones with the spots you want to worry about. And I was like, yeah, whatever.
Tiger,
Yeah, yeah.
tiger sharks.
At the moment, I just was swimming. Well, the first one I swam from across, and just saw this darkness beneath me. I was like, no, not doing
Yeah.
this. Get me out of here, please.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my God. I don't know if they are tiger sharks actually.
I think he
Spots.
was just being Australian and winding us up. I'm
Oh,
pretty sure if you saw a shark, you'd be like,
yeah,
get
yeah,
me out of
yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, I know what you mean.
here.
My God. Yeah, I mean down where I am, you ain't got to worry about any of that. But like there was fishing line. There's a lot of fishing line out there.
Hmm.
That's one thing that Carlo did. I helped him. He had to cut away a fishing line, which actually my leg got caught in. Not that it's going to drag me down, but you can see under there. There's a lot of stuff there that shouldn't really be there,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's quite worrying actually. It's quite disconcerting to see that this, that's what is happening with our oceans. It's made me actually want to be more, educate myself more on it.
yeah,
So I guess that's what I'm doing in my own way.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm facing my fears
yeah,
because I've got a huge fear of open water.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like I did with the heights. I'm facing that by jumping out of planes, and this is the same for me with the water. I'm facing my fears. I'm just daring to go a little bit further. I'm pushing it.
yeah.
That's why I've got myself a knife.
That'll keep you
Okay,
safe when you're falling out of a plane.
in case I see the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, how are you, man?
I'm okay. Yeah. I've had some healing, and
Ooh.
a mutual friend of ours, or a friend that you've put me in
Yeah,
touch with,
yeah.
has done some healing with me. And yeah, I went to my appointment on Monday, and the nurse actually said, as she was sort of looking at the wound, she's like, have you had some sort of miracle healing? And I was like, I just sort of smirked to myself, because I thought, I'm not gonna let you into my secrets. But yeah, I have. So yeah, it feels after weeks, I don't know, the time sort of has been drifting around. But after weeks of sort of being told it's exactly the same, for the first time, someone's saying, "Oh yeah, it looks like it's getting better." So
Mm.
it feels like I've turned a bit of a corner this week. Um,
That's amazing. Have you
yeah,
told B about that?
no, because I was meant to have a appointment with her yesterday. I was going to tell her then, but she's put it back. So next time
Yeah.
I have an appointment with her, I'll let her know.
There you go, people.
Yeah,
Miracles do happen.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. So you're going to continue to work doing more therapy healing on that.
Might do. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Well, we're exploring, yeah, how we can use it as well
yeah.
with different avenues as well. So yeah,
Yeah,
it's all good. It's all good.
that's amazing.
Yeah,
It's good, isn't it?
yeah, really good.
I think it's getting a balance, isn't it? It's like I'm a big fan of alternative stuff.
Hmm.
Not to say that B stuff's alternative because it's been proven. There's a lot of science backing up pranic. Can I
Yeah,
say that? Yeah, pranic healing.
yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't even know it was called that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, pranic. There's a lot of science to back that, support it. Anyone that's not sure on what I'm talking about, just research it, make your own mind up. Don't take my word for it. Um, and so I'm a big fan of that kind of like alternative, but sort of, I feel like it's a balance. It's good to
mm.
have, you know, sometimes we need more traditional
Yeah, yeah,
methods of treatment and medicine and healing, whatever.
yeah. As much as I didn't want to take all those antibiotics, they've definitely made sure
Yeah.
I had no infection, but they made me feel
Yeah,
lousy.
yeah, yeah. Whatever works, man. I think whatever works, everyone's different. We're all different. Our bodies are different.
Yeah,
Um, I think the wirings, it's all there. All the nuts and bolts are pretty much the same, but we are different in our responses, aren't we?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely. So yeah,
Positive. That's good to hear, mate.
it's been a good week. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully I should. Well, I'm aiming for the end of July. I think if
Sick.
that would be good.
Well, what letter are we on this week?
We are on the letter T.
So we're not far off of like I did say if anyone's been with us all the way and we were talking about what we was talking about the and I remember saying if we get to the end of this first season on the Z, I'm gonna be looking at ways to support your your wound.
Yeah, yeah,
But it looks like B's coming in with
yeah. Thank God she saved me.
yeah.
But it also shows like how long, because yeah, I think we did the first recording of this end of February, and it feels it shows how long the journey's been as well. I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Your wound has been like
it's
the timeline
yeah.
chronology.
Season two, you've got to do something. You know I've sacrificed my body for this season.
Don't, because I'm doing this whole diving malarkey. Plus, I'm
Yeah.
planning on going for a little roll later, a skate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've got a new setup. So I'm going to be hitting some concrete a bit later.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we know what happened last
Yeah. I
time.
was gonna
It's
say last
been a
time.
it's been a long sabbatical for me skateboarding, man, because of what happened with my wrist. I completely snapped it and shattered the crap out of it. So I've got to be very super cautious. Anyway, I'm glad you're okay. Letter T,
Letter T.
Mr. T, letter T. It's my turn.
It is your turn.
It's my turn, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let me have a look. Let's get the T's up. Okay. Oh, it's not too many.
No.
No.
How many's not too many?
Maybe this is a while ago we added these. Well, there's only like, is that right? Yeah. Right, let me read them. Trustworthy,
Mm-hmm.
thoughtful, tolerant, timid, tyrannical,
Mm-hmm.
tranquil,
Mm.
tense,
Yeah.
treacherous. There's got to be more than that. There's got
Does T
that's
feels like a good letter. It feels like a big letter.
that's a bit light on the T's. Come on, can
It's
you?
timid in there.
Yeah,
Oh, it is, isn't it?
there's got to be more than that. There's got
Touchy.
to be.
Uh, yeah.
Like thankful. I'm just going to add that on now. Can you think of any whilst we're just live and as we're here? There's got to be more. This was filled out a long time ago. Well, a while ago, wasn't it? So I just don't think we've reviewed it or updated it. Apologies to anyone. This is live and direct.
Terrified.
Um, terrified, yeah. Terror. Wait
Mm.
a minute. Um, terrified, terrified, terror. Okay. Anything else? Ah, okay.
There's gonna be loads.
All right. Anyway,
Please
let's.
send us
Uh,
anything you can join us at
mm,
velvetrevolutionpod.com.
okay. Well, look. Let me just work with what we've got. Trustworthy, thoughtful, tolerant, timid, tyrannical. Tyrannical. Is that
That's yeah.
like a
That's
tyrant
yeah.
being tyrannical,
Yeah.
like being a T-Rex kind of
Yeah. Yeah.
vibes? Tranquil, tense, treacherous, thankful, terrified, terror. Oh man. Okay. Let's go tolerant.
Okay.
There you go. Tolerant.
Yeah.
Gonna red line it.
And why have you gone for tolerant?
Felt like I was dithering. um, I don't know. Cool, I nearly blew the mic out there. Sorry. Right. So I, I don't know. Tolerant. I just felt like it's a good one. I think
Mm.
it's a skill.
Yeah.
Um, I was talking to my dear mother yesterday. So I'm sure she won't mind me saying this, that we was talking about tolerance. Do you know what we was talking about? Neighbours.
Oh, okay.
There we go, people. I think everyone can relate to this one. Have you ever, has anyone listening ever had that neighbour? You know the ones.
Mm-hmm.
Are you the neighbour?
Mm. Yeah, if
I
you
mean,
haven't, then you are the neighbour. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Ultimately, we are all the neighbour to someone, right? You
Yeah,
can
yeah.
be living in a forest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're still a neighbour to the squirrels, the birds, you know, they have to tolerate your shit. You know, do you clean up after yourself? I could get on a real soapbox about where I live because we got beaches here. Now, was a time when there's a lot of pride. There still is in people keeping stuff tidy down here, but
Mm-hmm.
it's starting to slip a bit because we've got different people down here now. I'm one of them people.
Yeah.
I'm not native to this land.
You are an immigrant to where you have
Yeah,
ended up.
but I respect the land.
Mm.
Because what, especially what I was checking in with, there's a lot of stuff that ends up in the water.
Mm.
Plastic's a big problem, so the beaches have to tolerate us dickheads that leave our shit everywhere. Are you one of them people?
Mm-hmm.
Pick your freaking litter up, man. Put it in a bin. Like, don't be disrespectful to this is our home for all of us, right? Planet Earth. Would you treat your house and home and bedroom in the same manner you treat the beach? A lot of people bring their entire freaking garage to the beach these days.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the problem. There's a lot. There's just this the amount of freaking real estate that people take up on beaches now. It's mental. It's like people have a postcode for their freaking. They go down a picture. I've got my own designated zip code or postcode, depending on where you're listening, on the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I was getting on one there. Tolerance. There you go. Tolerant or tolerance.
I'm just thinking. I don't know if I've told my neighbour story on here. Have I told my neighbour story on here? I,
I've got loads of them if
I've
you
got.
haven't.
I had. It's quite. So before yeah, it'd have been before Christmas. I went to this spiritualist evening with a friend from work,
Okay.
and the spiritualist said lots and lots of stuff to me, and I was like, I was a bit sort of like, yeah, what is this all about? But one of the things she said, which I thought was a bit odd, is you're going to have problems with your neighbour, and I'm like, okay, I've lived in my flat now for 7, 8 years, never had any problems with neighbours. They're all really lovely. Everyone keeps themselves to themselves. It's we don't have any issues. And anyway, it came to I don't know, a couple of months later, and I'm sitting in my lounge on a Friday evening, and my flatmate's like, I can hear some strange noise. I'm like, oh, I can't hear anything, and sort of ignore it. And that was about 9 o'clock, and then the program we were watching, the next advert break came on, and I was like, oh, I can really hear something now. There's some really strange noise. Turn the sound down on the TV. Went into my flatmate's bedroom, and there's just water pouring through the ceiling. And so we
Oof.
had we had to go upstairs to the flat upstairs, banging on the door for ages. There was some quite adult noises, shall I just say,
Oh, really?
coming out of this flat, and we're banging on the door for like 5, 10 minutes, and we finally get an answer. And this guy comes to the front door in his dressing gown, says, "Oh, sorry, I was asleep." And we're like,
Yeah, that old chestnut.
"Yeah." And he's saying that his sink wasn't emptying properly, and I must have knocked the tap, and basically there was just water everywhere. And so he turned it all off and stuff, and we came back downstairs, and we're just trying to put buckets underneath all this water coming out of the ceiling, and it's coming through the electric, coming through the light fitting, and it's just like, you know, obviously it's my flatmate's bedroom, so he's the one that's like, oh God, this is, he's really stressed about the fact that all his stuff's getting a bit wet, and all I can think of is this spiritualist evening. I said, I don't want to make this all about me. I said, but that woman, she said I was going to have issues with my flat with neighbours and shit. And I said, look at this.
No way.
Yeah, that was
No way. So my head's still in his flat before he opened the door,
right.
right? So what I equate to what happened was they were in the bath, right? That's
I
where my
don't.
head's gone with it. They were in the bath.
I'm I'm gonna. This is like I don't know if you'll ever listen to this, but there wasn't a woman.
Oh,
I,
there was no.
well, I
Oh,
couldn't like not one I saw.
so he was on his own.
I don't know.
So he was having a party for one in his bath, and it was just all thrashing around, and the water was going everywhere. That to me sounds like a bath overflow.
Yeah, well, there was nothing in the bath. I mean, he did show us the bathroom, and the sink was overflowing. But
Sink was overflowing.
that's how long it must have been going on for. Because I mean, we were knocking on the door at like 9:15, 9:30, and Dave had already seen it. Said something about the sound about
And
half an hour, 40 minutes beforehand.
you're sure I mean, obviously, you know what yeah, so it was clear that he was making
I
noises that would
Well, there's another part to the story which I haven't told, which is, the water was just coming through. It was not stopping. So about half an hour later, Dave was like, let's just go and knock up again and just check it's all sort of he has sorted it. And so we go up there again, and this time I go into the flat more,
Mhm.
and there's definitely no, well, it's not definitely. They may have been upstairs in a bedroom and asleep, but there was no sign of anyone else in this flat.
Hmm.
And then yeah, I mean, I made the mistake of saying, "There's water still coming through our bedroom," and made it
Oh.
sound like Dave and I were sharing the bedroom underneath. It was,
Oh,
and I
dear.
was like, "Oh God, he's gonna think, yeah." And now he thinks we're together. So I was like, "Yeah, whatever."
I'm still honestly, I feel like I need to solve this mystery. Do you
Yeah.
still speak to this guy, the neighbor?
That's the weird thing and that's what I mean about this block I
Uh,
live in, is you very rarely see anybody, and
yeah,
I've
you never
never seen him
know.
before,
Yeah.
and I've never seen him after,
Oh, okay.
even though he lives like upstairs.
Dear.
So
Sort of mystery.
he's
Well,
definitely said he'd been there a year as well. So
well, I don't know. Maybe it wasn't even his apartment. Maybe there was something else going on in there. Who knows? But so this, so these things that happen. This is the thing. You don't really know a lot about when you're living in that sort of where you live. It's a big old place, isn't it? And
yeah, yeah,
lot
yeah.
lot going on, and you never really know who's living. You know,
Mm.
with you. You could be behind them doors. God knows what's going on, man. Us humans do some weird stuff behind closed doors when no one's looking, don't we? Eh? Not alone. No, my isms are my isms. I'm proud of them. But anyway, um, so tolerance. Are we running with tolerance or tolerant? I think tolerance is it's the same thing anyway. But
Yeah.
um, so I was talking to my mum. Oh, I don't know if I can be asked to go into it all. I need my mum here to talk us all through it, so I don't have to. But it was one of them calls, mother and son, and she was just, we was hanging out on the phone and talking, and she was just really struggling with this. She's actually there's two people. It's a double whammy.
Either side.
Yeah, and one situation is a tree,
Right.
and it's overgrown and overhanging,
Hmm.
causing problems in her side of like where she lives on. Yeah. And then the other one is a car parking space dispute.
Right.
It's one of them.
Yeah.
And she hasn't got the guy to, I guess me and my bro, we're the guys,
Hmm.
or her brother, we're the guys, or, any male friend she might have is the guy because she's not got the dude who could just go knocking on doors and go, oi, mate. You know, last time she tried to resolve the tree thing, the guy answered the door to my mum. She tried to calmly. My mum's a very calm, lovely person, you know, and the guy slammed the door in her face.
Wow.
Didn't even entertain it. Can you imagine how I felt? I wanted to go
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
smash the shit out of his front door and have a word. But you know, um, kill them with kindness. But yeah, so we was talking about tolerance only yesterday, so maybe that's why I chose it. But um, it's a big one.
It is.
Have we got it? Have we not got it? How
Mm.
do we? How do we get through life? Because this is what I was saying to my mum. This is what we was talking about. Was in a situation. Let's use the tree. Let's land on that as an example, right? The tree,
Mhm.
the overhanging tree. You know, is that an inconvenience? Well, yeah. You know, and we need to try and resolve it. You know, can we cut back the tree?
Mhm.
I think at one point, me and another dude who lived nearby, we went round and we started to cut back branches and stuff from my mum's side, and I think they got a bit angsty about it, and we were saying, well, look, we wouldn't have to do it if you did it, so can you just, can you take care of it?
Mhm.
Um, there's a lot, there's a lot of patience. I think patience is part of, you know, patience, tolerance. It's almost like a two-sided coin, maybe. You know, to be tolerant, you've got to be able to be quite patient. To be patient, you've got to be quite tolerant, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And if you don't behold any of those qualities or skills, if you don't have the capacity to be patient or tolerant, you've had it. You're just going to be, like I was saying to my mum, are we a victim? Is everything, you know, are we taking everything personally?
Mhm.
Are these people against us? Are they out to get us, our neighbours? Are our neighbours out to get us?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, or or we're just taking it really personally because we're not being tolerant and accepting the fact that we're powerless over certain things and people and situations. We are powerless over certain things, but we're not, because there's a paradox to that,
Mhm.
because we do have power. The power we have is how we relate to it.
Yeah.
So are you the victim, or do you flip the narrative and go, well, this person doesn't probably give a fuck about
Mhm.
me or anything. Probably doesn't give a fuck about himself. If he's got no compassion towards me, he probably ain't got no compassion to himself. We've already covered compassion, and I believe we talked about that. How can you have compassion for other people if you don't have it for yourself?
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So if someone is presenting a very selfish, slamming doors in your face because you're knocking on the door, say, "Excuse me, can we just have a chat? Like, your tree's sort of like, it's overgrown, it's causing a lot of shade, and it's a lot of leaves, and it just feels it's encroaching my personal space, my boundary
Mhm.
of where I live. Can we talk about that?" Now, if that's met with a slammed door in your face, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
So, do we meet that with anger? Well, yeah. I mean, I would. I'd be well fucked off for that. I'd be, where's the brick? Let me find a big brick. That's going through his window. That's where my head would go with that. I'm not saying I'd do it. I'm just saying that's where my head would go with that. Um, but what do we do in life when we have these things happen to us? I'm using this as an example, but when we leave our house every day, how many times do you encounter things where you've got something like this that happens? It doesn't have to be your neighbor. It could be in your workplace. It could be the people that enter your workplace. It could be in the grocery store. It could be in the street. It could be in the garage forecourt when you fill out fuel. It could be out walking your dog in the woods and you encounter someone who's not got the dog on a leash. And it's
Well,
endless.
one of the ones that really annoys me about dog walkers is the ones that pick the poo up and put it in a bag and then leave it hanging on a tree. That really gets me.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you've
Yeah.
gone to the effort of picking it up and putting it in a plastic bag, put it in the bin.
I reckon they're the sort of people that at Christmas they get the big ass Christmas tree
Yeah.
and they don't hang it on trees in public. They hang it on their own tree. I reckon they've got a dog poo fetish,
Oh, okay. Is that what
and
it
they
is?
like to hang on it. They just like the look of it as it hangs in the bag from a branch.
Different color bags.
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, no, it's a bit weird, isn't it?
A
Very
little bit.
strange.
A little bit. Yeah.
Very strange. Very strange. Anyway, so how do we approach life? Do we go through life feeling like we're being attacked and taking it personally? I've talked to a lot of people about this when we talk about these situations. Nature of my work, tolerance, patience, compassion, all these things we talk about are discussed endlessly when we're talking about how to uh, have a more skillful, um, uh, rewarding life. To have a better life, more harmonious life, more peaceful life, more rewarding life, we need certain attributes, certain skills, certain qualities to display, to use to navigate life. Otherwise, we're just going to be angry and feel like everything's happening to us, that we're a victim, that this is bullshit, poor me, ah, anger, drama. And what we do is regurgitate the drama over and over. Every time anyone that will listen will regurgitate that freaking narrative, the drama of the situation over and over. And we're constantly living the drama over and over.
Yeah.
So, where's our tolerance? Where's our patience? Where's our compassion towards the situation? Even when people aren't displaying it to us, what do we just, fight back? Get angry? At what point, or do we let people just walk all over us? You know,
And that, I think that's a real, for me, that's one of the real problems about it. Is as you've talked about your mum's situation and the you've used the words victim and being walked over and not being able to control other people. And there is that real balance between you're tolerating something. I find tolerating such a weird word. Um, but it's like, where is that balance between, yeah, I'm understanding this situation and I have a certain strength in it, or am I just being weak and letting everyone else do what they need to do and I don't really get any of my needs met?
exactly that. Yeah.
And I mean, it's the do you did you ever work with the fundamental British values when you go into schools? Ever heard of those?
God, that sounds really boring.
Yeah. Well, it's something the Tories brought in
Oh,
around
yeah. Sorry.
around all the around all the proper, when we were really sort of in the midst of war with terror and all of that, and how we sort of create a good British society. And there are these British values are democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty, and mutual respect and tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs.
Mm,
And these values are seen as essential for preparing young people for life in modern Britain.
okay.
Now, I automatically have a problem with the whole idea of British values, because I think they're sort of human values, and I think, if you're gonna try and instill good values in young people, I don't think they should be proclaimed as being only British values,
Fully.
and young people living in a modern world, I would say, not just Britain. But I've done many an assembly on mutual respect and tolerance, and for me, mutual respect is where we should be. Tolerance always sounds like we're putting up with something.
Mm,
It always feels like there's a little bit more, like, yeah, yeah, okay, I'll put up with that.
yeah.
Yeah, for
Really?
time being, I'll see. Yeah, I'm okay to go along with that. Tolerance always seems to me, oh, yeah, it seems to me an odd word,
Yeah.
and it's not a particularly positive word for me.
I
What does it say
understand.
in the big book?
You can tell I'm looking at the
Yeah,
book,
yeah.
right? So what's it called again? I said it sounds boring. What was it called? Say it
It's
again.
called the Fundamental British Values, FBV.
Yeah, I think British is what threw me. As
Yeah,
soon as you said that, that's why I went, oh, leave it out,
yeah,
because it just sounds boring.
yeah.
Anything with like, I'm British, right? Well, no, fuck that. I'm more than British. It's just a freaking word, and it's just freaking shit. Like, I'm proud to be a fellow Earthling. No
Mhm.
borders. I'm that person. Yeah, I'm with the fishes, the trees. I'm with everyone on this planet, man. Like,
Yeah.
screw the British thing, right? And I love this country. I love the people in it. There's some fuckers here, like everywhere on the planet. But on the whole, I love it all, right?
Hmm.
But what threw me is exactly that. Yeah, it sounds a bit naff, and they need to reframe it if they're keeping that. If they're still using that, they need to reframe it, repackage it, because that
It's not
shit.
become as big an agenda. Definitely, it was when schools are inspected. It used to be. It's like, are you doing all five of these things? You
God,
know, yet again, another thing, another initiative
yeah,
that's put on schools. You know,
yeah,
like, are you making kids believe in this? And it's like, yeah, we're having conversations like that every day. You know, why do we, but have you measured it? How much percentage has
mm,
every student's mutual tolerance gone up, and mutual
mm,
respect and tolerance, sorry, gone up in the past 2 years? And,
God,
how do we evidence this? It's
mm,
it's it's like, how do we build a decent society, and how do we trust people to actually have conversations that are meaningful and mutually respectful, not just, yeah, not just paying lip service to it.
God. Okay, all right. Well, look. Um, so I love what you said. I love the because you flipped the narrative, you've pulled it out of context. I feel like with a lot of things we cover on here, we it's sometimes it's the word is a problem.
Yeah,
It's got a sort of some sort of attachment to it, association, stigma even, that's maybe needs to be reframed so that we can pull it out of the box and think of it in a different way. Um, Tolerance, the ability to accept things you dislike or disagree with, the ability to endure specified conditions or treatment, an allowable amount of variation of a measurement. That's pretty much it. So there's three sort of different examples there. The first one, the ability to accept things you dislike or disagree with, and then the ability to endure. So endure is what I think what you brought up, which is just feels like you're just enduring. Like what's your what's your ability just to put up with something,
yeah,
whether that's cold water immersion or you know someone that's bullying you or someone's behavior that you kind of just you're people pleasing. You're just putting up with some shit that you shouldn't have to. Where's your boundaries, man?
yeah. It feels painful, doesn't it? Endure feels like you're going through the pain barrier, and,
Mm.
and like that first definition in terms of willing to accept something you, is it strongly disagree with or just disagree with?
It just is able to accept things you dislike or disagree with. But I mean, acceptance is what jumps out at me.
Yeah, and like that idea that have you can have a conversation with someone, and you can agree, you get to that point where it's like, we'll agree to disagree.
Yep.
And whenever that sentence is said, for me, it always leaves a bit of sour taste in the mouth. It's always a bit like, oh, and maybe that's my controllingness. Maybe that's my desire to make everyone think and feel the same way, and accept, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a more liberal, broader view of everything. But you do have to accept that there are many different views on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I guess it's almost like it's how big your ego is as well, isn't it? It's how big your, you know, again, a conversation we were having just before we started this, but there's certain people in this world whose ego is so big that they need to have that many likes, that many uh, people telling them they're great, that they're not able to listen to anyone else's point of view or admit that there's anything wrong in what they're saying. Like, we're all human. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I'm going to get things wrong on a daily basis. That's
Mm-hmm.
life.
Yeah.
And part of that is accepting that and going, hold my hands up, going, yeah, I really messed up there, and I would like to do better. And it's yeah, I think that's a really important part of being human.
Yeah.
And tolerating to me sounds, yeah, it feels to me like there's a pain there. There's almost a weakness, dare I say it, in tolerating. Like, I'm tolerating putting up with this, but ultimately this guy's tree is really annoying me, and it needs chopping down, or it needs
Yeah,
cleaning or whatever.
yeah. One of my worst neighbor scenarios. I mean, I was the guy when I was younger. I mean, I used to have I used to have a flat, an apartment. Um, so it was adjoining. I think it was in a block. Like imagine a four block. So it was like me. There was only two floors, ground floor, first floor,
Hmm.
right? And I was up on the top. There was someone below me, someone next to me on two adjoining walls. Well, essentially three.
Hmm.
I had four sort of, it was like a cube, and I was on the top, on the corner,
Yeah.
and I had big speakers, Technics 1210s that you can get other turntables.
But if Technics would like to sponsor us, then
Yeah, yeah, please.
yeah.
Um, and man, the amount of parties. I had parties there when I wasn't even there.
Right.
And it's back in the day, I had landline, no mobile phones. And I
Hmm.
remember calling from a payphone in a party in London, just checking up that everything was cool at my apartment, at my flat. And my mate Gemma um, was there with loads of people just having a party. I used to have a key. I used to have a key on a rope, like a little chain, thin, tiny rope thing that I used to put around my neck. And when I was out, if I was going out somewhere like London or going somewhere, I'd just hand the key to someone, go, there you go. I'll be back later. you know? And I'd have a flat full of people just doing whatever in there, It was just like, I was that flat. I was that person. And it was very hedonistic, very loud. And I mean, that would be my just horror situation. So maybe it's karma
Yeah.
that I ended up, no doubt, having a taste of my own medicine in somewhere along the line. And the worst neighbor I ever had was it was really traumatic actually, and I swore I was never going to have an adjoining neighbor ever again in my life
Right.
because of it. And he sadly passed away. He was a fallen brother to a chronic mental health issue, addiction, which I did try and support him with, but I had to put a boundary in there, man. I just couldn't, I couldn't save him.
Mm.
But it was just torturous to hear him slowly killing himself next door. It was horrible to see. It's really traumatic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that really was, in the context of what you're saying, it was endurance.
Mm.
For me, that was endurance. I had to practice all the principles that I've been taught, which I had practiced to the best of my ability, a day at a time, moment to moment of, just have patience, just just have humility,
Mm.
just
And
have
you that,
compassion.
that was years, wasn't it? It went on for a good few years.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was in that place 10 years,
Yeah.
and I left there before I come in. The irony is, I moved there and he died.
Right.
That's the freaking irony. I
Maybe you were
mean,
holding him together all that time.
God knows, but yeah, and it was endurance. It really was. It really tested me.
Mm.
It really put me to the edge of my own um, emotional, mental, spiritual well-being was tested. I was really on the edge with it. It was really hard, and that was endurance. Yeah.
Mm.
And in a way, it's symbolic that he was. This is the problem with us mad, crazy humans. Because if you use tolerance, flip the narrative, right? We're trying to sort of frame it as, it's an act of, it's a noble act. It's an act of, you know, greatness and, virtue,
Hmm.
which it is, of course. But flip the narrative, it's actually detriment. It can be at our detriment.
Yeah.
It's resilience. It's another way of, if another way of putting it is resilience, right? So we've taught resilience for how many years now, Ben, in schools?
Yeah. As long as I've been teaching,
Is
really.
that right? And that was a buzzword back in the day, and now and it still kind of is, and they still teach it. I'm in a school next week, and it always comes up resilience.
I
You
don't
know,
ever really think people know what it means. Like
do you not think?
I've got it's getting there, but it's like, you know, when, like, for instance, we've got three R's at our school in terms of respect, responsibility, and
Yeah,
resilience.
yeah.
And respect is, you know, every kid gets respect.
They should add another one in.
Go on.
Raucous.
Raucous.
We
Yeah.
covered that one.
Oh, yeah.
Listen.
And kids get responsibility. They get, you know, what they have to you know, take responsibility for. But resilience is always the tough one, because it's like, how do you be resilient when you're trying to work out so much still? And it's, I
Yeah.
think resilience is mainly, it should fall on the school. It shouldn't be on the young person. We're trying to build resilience, but the school, and when I say school, I can, you can also refer to any institution, any company, any group of people, is you need to feel like you belong, and you need to feel
Mm,
safe. And
mm,
if you get that, if you have that security and that base and that foundation, then resilience builds from there. That's
mhm.
where resilience comes from, knowing that you're not on your own. And I
Yeah.
think, you know, you talked about, I mean, I remember when that was going on with your neighbor, and I remember talking to you about it, and you were in bits. You know, it
Mhm.
was really traumatic.
Yeah.
And, you know, you managed to deal with that for a number of years, but you had a lot of tools to deal with that. If,
Yeah.
you know, if you were more isolated yourself, then how much more traumatic would that situation have been? And
Oh,
how, you know, how much more quickly would you have broken to the point where you're like, I just cannot do this. I cannot put up with this.
yeah. I probably would have gone, if you can't beat him, join him. I would have
Yeah,
gone
yeah,
next door and just got on it with him.
yeah.
He was worst case chronic, really hardcore, heavy drinker I've ever known, come
Right.
across, or
Mm,
witnessed. He was savage,
yeah.
like horrendous.
And
Yeah.
I would use that analogy in terms of young people. I would
Mhm.
use that if they aren't feeling strong enough, they aren't feeling resilient enough, they don't have enough tools in their toolbox, if their family isn't giving them that foundation and
Mm,
structure they need.
mm.
And when I'm talking family, I'm not just talking about mum and dad. I'm talking about that whole, you know, the village that we should be brought up in
Yeah,
as
yeah,
human beings. If they haven't got any of that, then, like you said, I'll just join them. What's the problem?
yeah, yeah,
Just get on it,
yeah.
because I can't tolerate this. I can't work out how to deal with this in any other way than, you know, I'll join them.
Well, this is what so rite of passage for me was doing that
Mm,
as a young person. When you get into your teens, that for me was my rite of passage. I have no means to be able to say no. I remember there was a time. I remember it so clearly. I used to go down to the skateboard ramp, which was built in the woods. It was like this mythical, you know.
you
uh,
disappearing to the woods, I thought it was just an analogy for your life, mate.
I know, I know, I know. But like, anyway, it was this beautiful, amazing oasis to me. It was somewhere I could do exactly that. Yeah, escape, right?
Yeah,
Summer holidays, school's out. I'm there. I'm in the woods all summer, skateboarding
yeah,
with me. Whether I'm on my own, remember my bro came once, took some photos, all of that, or with with my homies. And we was down there, and that whole skate oasis was somewhere that I gravitated to sort of just I guess find that belonging, whether it's just the nature, being with the trees, being in
mm.
the woods, because it was that ramp was all hand built by some cool ass older people that I'm now mates with, but at the time didn't really know him, and we were just the little sprogs, and they were the older boys. And it was just like, oh my god, they're like these mythical characters. And if you saw any of them skateboarding, you're like, oh my god, it's like seeing a famous person. It's so cool, man. It's so attractive to me. But my point is that there was a time when there was always someone that might pull out a dodgy smelling cigarette,
Yep.
a rollie that smelt a bit fruity. I was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, I think that could be what I think it is." Because I was quite young then.
Mm.
Not naive, but quite young. Maybe naive, I don't know. But point is that there was a time when I said no,
Okay.
right? And whether I had the resilience then, whether that is resilience to say no at the time, I guess it is. I had some resilience to say no at that point.
Mm.
Not for me. Maybe it was just pure fear and terror of doing it. I just froze up and went, no, 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 no. I don't do that. But it changed,
Yeah.
you know? So, but what I was saying was that my rite of passage as a young person was to go. If I can't beat them, if I can't uphold, if I haven't got the stamina to keep saying no,
Yeah.
to endure being with in certain environments with certain elements, the people, the places, and the things that I have to encounter in life. If I haven't got that em- mental stamina, emotional, all of it, the whole stamina to say no and have a boundary, a healthy, clear cut decision making process of my own mind to say, no, I don't want to do that thing. I'm all right. Thank you very much.
Mm.
It broke. And my rite of passage was that attitude of, fuck it, it'll be all right.
Yeah, yeah,
I'll just join them. And that lasted for 20 years.
yeah. And if you I'm just trying to think, so we're using different language here, different words, but is that a form of tolerance then? If you are around other people that are doing things that you don't want to do, and you are you are tolerating their behaviors, is that the same thing? I guess it is.
I, I,
I always want to take it to a more extreme,
you do, do you?
but I do.
That's
But
the
it
thing.
is. You're tolerating other behaviors, aren't you? You're hanging around with people that are doing what they're doing,
Yeah.
and you want to be with them. So you're tolerating and putting up with their behaviors
You,
because you want to be part of the crew.
you're disregarding your own needs for other people's narrative. So it's people pleasing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you're anything like me, and I was very eloquent at people pleasing part of my life, I I just it's that FOMO stuff, fear of missing out as well. Once you start to have this false sense of belonging, which I don't
Mm.
believe is belonging. Maybe it is a belonging, but it's not. To me, it wasn't belonging. I didn't belong anywhere really at that point in my life. I just fitted in. I was disregarding what I actually felt was the right thing to do, disregarded my own sense of what I thought was right or wrong to fit in. Is that people pleasing? Fear of missing out? All of that stuff that we all talk about and know so well. I used to do it a lot. Can I still get caught up in that? Yeah, of course I can. I'm human. I'm not perfect, but very rarely do I do it, if ever, because I have my own sense of, you know, I just know myself well. I know what I like, what I don't like, and it helps when you've done a lot of um you've done your time.
Yes.
You've done it. You've done that part where I've done it to death. I did
Yeah.
it so much that it's like I don't need to do that anymore. Done. That era is over. Act one. I don't need to do it anymore. It served me maybe once. Maybe I got some cheap thrills out of it. Maybe I had some good times out of it. Maybe, but I don't need to get into all that. It's so when you've got that sort of um, two opposing life experiences, in your life, which every day I wake up, I could, or do I want to do it that way, or do I want to do it that way? I choose to do it this way.
And do you think it's about creating that strong, and I don't mean like physical bricks and mortar, but finding a home, finding somewhere where you feel like you belong? And I think for me, it's not even about finding a collective of people. It's about finding a sense of belonging in yourself.
Mm.
It's about knowing that you're so much more secure in who you are and what you're doing. I think it's not just about, you know, building a building a home in the sense of, I'm going to get a new bed and I'm going to get a sofa and going to get a widescreen TV. It's about building a sense of who you are, and those building blocks of what you can be, and what you're deciding that is who you're going to be, gives you then a foundation to be more tolerant, to endure, what life throws at you, and go, no, that's not for me. I'm not going to do that anymore. Whereas in the past, I'd be like, okay, yeah, let's see what happens, because I wasn't confident enough. I wasn't secure enough in who I was.
Yeah. I mean, we just went through there. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
What about for you? Do you feel, what we're talking about? Do you feel that I suspect, correct me if I'm wrong, that you've had to navigate this same thing, don't we all? I don't know. Do some people just, as always, it's just what we always ask, isn't it? Do you think there's people out there that just, it's just that it comes naturally to them to not get caught up in what we're talking about? I don't know.
I think if there's a security and a foundation in that, like I was alluding to earlier with the, like family, and as I said, it doesn't matter what shape or size that family is or how many people it contains. But if that family can hold you and you feel secure in that space,
Mm.
then I think there is a, a chance that you're going to have a stronger sense of self quicker
Mhm.
than if you come from a space where you didn't feel particularly held, where you didn't feel particularly safe.
Mm.
And and I mean, even from experience, you're not always aware of it.
Mhm.
There's not always, you go through life, and you look at certain public figures, and you just think, who hurt you? Like, why are you so angry and upset at the world? Why are you being so vindictive?
Yeah.
And that's got to have come from a place of insecurity and not feeling good enough.
Mm.
And and I presume they're not particularly aware of it. I
Mm.
presume they haven't looked at themselves or reflected, or, because there's a complete intolerance of anybody else's perspective.
Yeah. I think that this is what's come up for me, right? Is because on the when I do the groups that I do, I've got all the young mavericks, and they're placed all over the world because it's an international thing.
Hmm.
So different cultures, you know, demographics, wherever they are geographically, it's a really great space to collate a sense of forget like data.
Mm.
Your typical. I've never bought into that. I just don't subscribe to data, right? I'm a big fan of actually, what I'm talking about, which is, you know, actually getting in front of people
Hmm.
and really getting a strong sense of you get that. For me, that is the data, of what all I need to know is I'm on the front line, I'm on the ground with this stuff, right? And I think if you work with younger people or older people or both, which I kind of do
Mm.
in a way, because I'm working with parents, I'm working with all the families, and there's a lot of different generations in the families that I work with. And then
Mm.
you work with the young people, you've got a massive, broad sense of what's going on in the world
Mm.
if you're working internationally like I do, right? And it's really insightful. And you can draw a lot of wisdom insight from that. So it's not all intellectual. Data to me is intellectual. It's just intellect. It's numbers and theories, theological, isn't it? most.
Mm.
It's like, come on, right? So you get with people on the ground, on the front line, you get with the people. That's the problem we've got in this world is the people that are at the top don't get on the freaking front line with the people and listen to the people and feel the people. Do they actually hear you? Do they see you? Do they feel you? You know,
Mm.
really, that's what I'm doing. That's what we do. That's what you do. We're not alone. We're not the
No.
bollocks because we do this. There's other people that do this. There's a lot of people that do what we do, and they will surely agree with what we're saying. It's not about us being right. It's just sharing our experience, and that's what we're doing, right?
Mm.
So my point is that on these groups of these young mavericks, you get a real sense of you can gain so much, you can yield so much information from that space. And a lot of what we talk about, it's all covered in these episodes. What we do, every single episode comes up in these groups. You
Mhm.
know, tolerance or resilience or endurance, however you want to package it, comes up a lot. And why I'm saying this is because one of the most insightful things I've got from it to add to this episode to share some insight is that when we talk about how we perceive what other people think of us,
Yeah.
yeah, so when we're struggling with some tolerance over a situation, we tend to have this habit of projecting what we think they're thinking,
Yeah.
right? And we're convinced that they give a fuck. Now, the information that I've garnished from these groups, these steering groups, if you want to call them that, is that most people don't give a fuck. They're too self-consuming, their own bullshit, their own drama, their own life. And they're too busy to give a fuck about what you're doing,
Mhm.
and we're worrying over that. So it's a waste of energy. Focus on something else, man. Focus on what you can do to change your narrative, to change your thinking, to change your behavior, your actions, to gain a better positive outcome. It's
Yeah.
like it's a waste of time second guessing what people are thinking of us all the time. They don't give a fuck. Like we a lot of focus goes on because of social media, because of media, because of the news, because of TV, whatever. There's, um, we're trying to figure out what's going on in people's heads. Do they care about us? What are they thinking? So it's impossible, and it's very probable that they're not thinking about anything about probably what they're going to do later on with their wife.
Mhm.
Do you know what I mean?
Or what they're gonna have for tea.
Yeah. Or if they're on their own, whether they're gonna be in the bathroom, running the taps, looking at themselves in the mirror and doing God knows what whilst there's a bar of soap in their hand.
Oh, you yeah,
I don't know where I went with that. I don't know where
yeah.
I went with that.
You've taken
But,
that to a whole different level, but yeah, it was bad enough as it was. Yeah.
oh dear. Anyway, so, like, do you know what I mean? Does that make sense what I'm saying?
Mm. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does.
And you're privy to that because you're same as me. You work with a lot of young people.
Mhm.
A lot of them are from all over the place, whatever. And, that's one of the things I get, and that's just on that thing alone. Just when we're talking about situations where people, because a lot of what comes to me with these young mavericks is they feel really, um, there's a lot of anger,
Mhm.
there's a lot of frustration, there's a lot of hopelessness, there's a lot of fear. This could be I'm going to use the word recovery,
Yeah.
or it could be post. Doesn't matter. There's these primal hardwired responses to life, which we're pretty much covering on the TVR. This is what we're doing,
Yeah.
and we do it on the groups. I'm facilitating. I'm holding a space along with some great other people that we share the space with. Other people that work in this space. This is what we do. We hold a space and we help people process. We don't tell them what the answer is. They've got to find that for themselves, but we can give them insight and wisdom in, certain things that can help with that navigation of how to um, process situations that they're not sure on because they're young and they're developing, like you said earlier. Do they have the skills as a young person Have they got that life experience?
Yeah.
Have a skillful response in life? Well,
Yeah.
they're still learning. And some adults listening even might be like, "Well, I still freaking struggle." You
Yeah.
know?
I think we, as a as you're saying, is that we spend a lot of time trying to care for other people in the hope that they're going to care for us the way we're caring for them. Does that make sense? Have I said that right around? That we have put so much effort into thinking that if we do this, then we're going to get it back. And the bottom line is yes, it'd be lovely if everyone was caring and kind and 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 put that energy into we were all able to put that energy into each other. But the ultimate truth is if you're not doing that for yourself, if you're not doing those things that make you feel good and doing that self care, then no one else is going to do it for you. It
Yeah,
goes back to that idea of, you know, you can tolerate other people's behaviors to a certain point, but I do think there has to be a boundary and there has to be a point where, and it doesn't mean there needs to be aggression there. It doesn't mean you need to put a brick through a window, even if you feel like it. But it might mean that you need to just go that I cannot do anything about this, and I'm going to be strong about this now. And this is I can only do what I need to do for me,
yeah,
and that's my concern about tolerance is that we don't we don't put a boundary with it. We
yeah,
don't we become the victim. We become self-sacrificing because it's like I'm doing all this, I'm putting up with all these behaviors because at some point it's all going to come good and I'm going to get that back.
mm, mm,
And people are, that people are going to owe me. And it doesn't work like that. People
yeah.
don't think like that.
The world's gonna owe me.
Exactly. And then you get resentful and then you get,
Yeah.
angry and
And what comes up for me there is, and this is what I was talking to my mum about yesterday, um, because this is for all of us, myself included.
mm,
I'm not exempt from this shit. Just human, man. Is that an unrealistic expectation is never met.
hmm
Rarely can it be met by certain people. So why are we playing out this narrative over in our head of like shoulda, coulda, woulda?
hmm
I should have done it. I wish I'd done that. I could have done that. Or I wish they'd done that. Or I would have been like this if they could have done that.
yeah,
Or, it's endless, them variables. This is what wears us out. Now, anyone listening, you've got to be really honest with yourself here. Maybe you just, it's like, oh, I don't really do that. Well, great. I salute you. But I'm not exempt from that. I know I can get into this as well. I have to be super, super vigilant. And that's a day to day practice that I have to be when I'm on my A game and I'm present, when I'm doing everything I need to do, a bit of meditation, breathing, being present, being grounded, and taking that breath and slowing things down. I've got the space to be able to catch stuff. Because if I don't do that stuff, then I get caught up in my head.
yeah,
And what happens then is I start to get into these narratives of shoulda, coulda, woulda.
hmm
And it's all about, oh, you know, but why can't that person cut the tree back?
yeah,
You know, if it was me, I would cut the tree back. Why can't that guy cut? Well, I just don't understand why the guy's being such a dick about it.
hmm
Well, but that's a high expectation that, maybe he's just a dick
hmm
and he couldn't give two fucks about the tree or you.
yeah,
It's quite probable by his, it's evident by slamming a door in your face that he just doesn't give a fuck.
hmm
So why have the expectation that he's going to change anytime soon? Lower the expectation, and we have the ability. We may feel powerless, we may feel a victim over a situation, but we certainly have a great, immense, immense wealth of power over being able to change our response to life as life happens to us.
yeah,
Am I going to be a victim or am I just going to change the narrative and go, okay, look, you're a dick. That's okay. Right. I'm going to have some compassion for you. you know, you haven't got to say it to his face. I was saying to my mum, I would say it to his face, like, but you haven't got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say it to his face. But you know, I have compassion for you. You clearly haven't got it for me,
Mhm.
and I suspect you haven't got it for yourself because you haven't got it for me. Because if you had it for yourself, you'd probably show it for me. But anyway, hey ho, you know. But I'm gonna have compassion for you anyway, right? I still love you, but I think you're a dick.
Mhm.
That's kind of how I'd respond to that. And you know, that sort of person's gonna, you know, that could go two ways. So you got to be discerning over
Yeah, yeah.
how you say things and when you say it. But you know, my response to that, whether I say it verbally to that person or not, I'm going to think it, and it comes down to like I'm going to bring in meta meditation,
Mhm.
and you know what that is. But anyone listening, meta meditation, loving kindness is what that is. Love and kindness. It's like an intention. So when someone's a dick, you know, I'm going to put a boundary in. Well, okay, you're a dick. I'm going to close the door on you. You're closing the door in my face. I'm going to psychologically, spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally close the door on you.
Mhm.
You're not coming into my psyche. I'm not going to allow you to consume any more of my head thought, my head space, or my day. I'm not going to regurgitate the, oh, shoulda, coulda, woulda over and over, trying to figure out a way of molding and manipulating all of this so that it works for me. I'm just going to close the door on it psychically, right? And then I'm going to do some meta. I had to do some yesterday. No, day before yesterday. I was on the lanes driving, and because I've recently done a driving speed awareness course, I'm still driving quite chill, right?
Yep.
So, and I'm doing the safe space, 2 cars, whatever it is. Now that means the guy up my arse on the lanes,
Mm.
it's very dangerous. There's only certain spots, and I know where the spots are. This guy wasn't a local, I could tell. Right, you can tell he wasn't,
Yeah, yeah.
and what I mean by that is you can tell when people, most people around here just don't drive like that. That's how I knew. And he was
Yep.
up my arse, and he was trying to overtake every single car along the way. And he suddenly appeared up my arse, so I knew he'd already overtaken 2 or 3 cars, right? And he was up my arse, and he was waiting to take me. So in part of me thought, right, so I just quickly slam my brakes and fuck him up, or should I just speed up? But I was taught on the speed awareness course, don't speed up, don't compromise your own safety and endanger the car in front of you and other drivers just because some wanker is up your ass,
Mhm.
right? So I held my ground. Tolerance, patience, endurance, you know, all of that, right? So I'm just cruising, right? Because the car in front of me was going slow, the car in front was going slow, but I was like, you know, it's okay, no rush, we're cruising, right? We're not in London, don't need to get anywhere quickly. Chill. We're in the wilds, man. Let's just chill, right? So the guy, when he could, he really fucking endangered himself and his partner who was in the passenger seat and the car coming towards him. He did one of them moves where he just quickly bolted around me. And he had one of those electric cars, so he had that sort of zzz power to do it, right? And he just literally squeezed in between me and the other car, right? And so I did the natural. I'm gonna be honest. I called him a bit of a, you know, I'm not gonna say the word on here, but I did just to get it off my chest.
Yep.
And part of me wanted to ram him up, you know, slam into him, but you know, I held off and I created a safe space. And then I quietly, the reason I'm saying this story is because then I actually, because I called him what I called him, right, and it sounds like a hunt,
Mhm.
right? I suddenly felt I had a pang of like, oh, I feel bad now. So, I'm not gonna use the word, oh, fuck it, empath. I'm such an empath.
Mhm.
But, you know, I had a pang of, ah, you know, he's made me result to being like that.
Yeah.
But I felt like it was warranted. He was a complete cock about it, right? So I did some meta, you know, and I was like, you know, may you be happy, may you be at ease, may you be free from suffering, may you be well. I said it a few times over and over, just to sort of cancel out that negative, murky. me feeling angry, and how it makes you feel. You get really riled up, and it makes you feel
Mm.
taut and tense, and ugh. And then if you don't shake that shit off, if you don't diffuse that, if you don't neutralize that energy in your body and in your head and in your heart, if you don't neutralize that, where does it go? And how many times a day do you go through your day getting into that with people or things along the way? And what do you do with that?
Yeah.
So meta meditation, anyone that's gives a fuck about what I'm talking about, go and research it. Don't take my word for it. Go and go and buy a book on it and do it old school. Go buy a book on meditation. It's a Buddhist method. I'm not Buddhist. I'm not trying to promote Buddhism, but it's a really effective, powerful tool for life to be able to neutralize negative thoughts, emotions, um, and the energy in our bodies. It can neutralize it. I've done it for ex-partners. They've probably done it for me in their own way,
Hmm.
burning rituals or something. But
Voodoo dolls. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, all of that. But it's a really, really effective way, and you can do it right there, right now, anywhere. Yeah, if you get into something with someone, meta, may you be happy, may you be at ease, may you be free from suffering, may you be well.
Yeah, I mean, it's going back to what you was, when you were talking about that neighbor and saying ultimately he's being a cock. What is actually to take that even, to take that into other situations or to understand that in terms of human behavior, and we're more forgiving the younger the person is. So I know, you've had interactions, many interactions with young people where you've gone, you're being an idiot, but
Mm,
it's the behavior they're exhibiting. It doesn't make them an idiot, but the behaviors they're exhibiting at that moment in time means they are being an idiot,
mhm,
or they're exhibiting idiotic behaviors.
mhm,
And quite often that's because there's no regulation there. There's no understanding of what those behaviors are doing to themselves or to other people. And I think that is when you start to think about tolerating other people's ridiculousness
mm,
and other people's behaviors that trouble you. It is trying to distinguish the behaviors from the person. And it's a very difficult thing to do, is to
mm,
go, actually, that is just a behavior you're exhibiting at this moment in time. I don't know what's happening to you. I don't know if you're in a terrible relationship and you feel completely belittled and you're angry all the time and this is the only control you've got is this tree. I don't know if you're horribly traumatized as a young boy, and again, this is a control thing, and so you just let this tree do whatever you want, and I'm gonna. But it's trying to make those behaviors and those emotional
mm,
responses not part of the person, which again is goes back to that idea of meditation and Buddhism, and seeing that an emotional response will only last a certain amount of time,
yeah.
but it will sit in us, like you said, like that, after that bloke's done that idiot move, you're then sitting there raging,
I was
you know,
so angry. Honestly, I
and
was
you got
really
red
angry.
and you feel
Yeah,
the tension and you can just feel all of that negativity hit you.
yeah,
And, the younger you, or the younger me, would have put a brick through his window or would have done something, or would have sped up, or I've done that when I'm driving. Someone's up your backside, so you slow down.
yeah,
I'm just gonna go drive at 5 miles an hour now because you've
yeah,
been such an idiot, and you antagonize the situation. The last speed I've done two. So the last speed awareness, sorry, the first one I did, their advice was just pull over. If someone's winding you up that
yeah,
much and they're up your backside, just pull over.
yeah,
I don't need to get involved in your stupid games.
yeah,
If that's how you want to be, if you're so important
uh,
that you have to be somewhere more quicker
yeah.
than me, then off you go, fill your boots.
That's what's come up for me there is you brought it up last time we spoke about the drama triangle. You
Mm.
brought it up the drama triangle, which is really well known in the world um, especially in family uh, systematic counselling or therapy.
Hmm.
Um, so persecutor, I always forget what they are.
Persecutor, rescuer, and victim.
There we go. I should know it off by heart. Anyway, but what you just described there is a perfect metaphor for that,
Mm,
the drama triangle. You know, if you're in that if you're in the drama, basically, if you feel like you're entangled in drama, because it's non-attachment.
mm,
It's what, you know, it's non-attachment. It's disentangling yourself from drama.
yeah.
Now, if you feel like you are losing a sense of control, I guess, and the irony is we have no real control over a life, but we do. It's a bit of a paradox. I always say that because we do have some power over, we do have some influence, of course, in decision making and, you know, what we think and how we feel. We do have influence over that and our actions. But yeah, metaphorically speaking, pulling over is kind of what you're doing. You're stepping out out of that drama, out the
Mm,
drama triangle. You're just momentarily pulling over, going, I'm not going to do this. I'm getting out of the ring,
yeah.
taking the gloves off. I'm not putting the gloves on. I'm not even going to be in the ring. I'm taking myself out.
Mm, yeah. And having so many conversations with young people where their level of self is so low that if someone, looks at them the wrong way, says the wrong thing,
Yeah,
then then it's like I'm gonna kill him. I'm gonna beat him up.
yeah,
And you're like, but what would happen if you just walked away?
yeah,
What would difference would that make? That person might have given you an awful look. you know, might have been the worst look you've ever had in your life, but like that's their problem.
mm,
Like they've got a problem with you. Let them have it.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
when you're an angry young person, you can't do that. You can't walk away from that because your level of self is totally based on the fact that if someone looks at you the wrong way, you're going to beat him up.
yeah, 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 yeah. So I think we're covering it. What we're getting into now is really important because this is we're in the solution based part of it all.
Mm,
You know, we've looked at the what and the why. We're talking about the how now. You know, response to life. We are all. No one is exempt from this. No one. Right. Life happens on life's terms. It happens.
yeah.
You know. Are we participating? Are we in the rhythm and the natural rhythm of our own self? You know, are we in the natural rhythm of life? Are we in harmony with it? Or are we going against the stream? Again, it's another paradox because I believe that, you know, going against the stream sounds like you're not going with the flow of life.
Mm,
But in some sort of way, I believe that going against the stream is what we need to do because if you just go, you know, along with the stream of everything, are you really, you know, creating change for yourself? How can you evolve? I don't know. Does that make sense what I'm saying?
yeah. I believe you've got to step outside. I mean, I think that's how my brain works. Is
Yeah.
that we we have, you go back to data, you go back to this idea that we all have to live a certain way and we all have to do certain things and we all have to earn a certain amount. And
Mm,
actually stepping outside of that gives you a chance to find out what it is that you need. And I
mm,
do believe, I do believe that is the next, I think that's the third act of this, of where we're at the moment.
mm,
we're all sort of, we're all being pushed towards this, individualized sort of way of living. We don't work in jobs now for 30, 40 years and then retire and get a carriage clock. We move around and where there's a nomadic, more flexible approach to life.
mm-hmm,
And in doing that it shouldn't mean that we fragment as communities and as people. It should mean that we find what works for us as individuals. That's what all this new technology and new data and this way of looking at the world that we've sort of ended up in. It should give us an individualized approach to go, right, this is what works for me. These are the medicines that make me well. These are the tools that make me okay. you know it's not there's not a fix all for everyone. It's not like, here, have an aspirin, it's all going to be okay. We
mm,
should be away from that now. It should be, okay, well, this is what this person needs and this is what this person needs. And that's where the tolerance comes, is going, yeah, okay, this person works 3 days a week. That's what works for them. And this person works for 5 days a week because that's what they need to do. This
Yeah.
person works for 7 days a week and never stops because that's the way their brain works.
Yeah.
And then we should be able to tolerate and not resent anybody else's approach to life and just go, okay, accept that.
Yeah.
It's and at the moment it just feels we are doing the opposite. We're intolerant.
Yeah.
We are going, oh, that's not fair. This person's got that, and they're not doing this, and they're not working hard enough, and
Yeah.
they're freeloading, and it's like, okay, let's look at us as individuals. We should be able to do that now.
In theory, yeah. What comes to mind is divide and conquer.
Well, exactly. That's where we're at the moment.
So anyone listening, if you've been with us throughout this episode, I think we're getting to a conclusion point of maybe, I don't know. I feel like we could go on for a long time on this one because this is a big one. They're all relevant though. They're all big topics, and they're always interlinked, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
They're all they're all just part of one big pizza, you know. And it's like it always comes down to the same thing. Where are we placed within this conversation? This topic, this what we're talking about. Is this do I relate? If you're relating to stuff, if there are similarities, if there are things that are popping up for you, you know, okay, so this is good. That's why we're doing it.
Mm,
Um, I certainly have learnt so much from having really great conversations with really just great people and open-mindedness. I think there's the free folded thing of being open,
mm-hmm.
to being open to opinions, open to possibilities.
Yep.
Um, and there's got to be some honesty there. What's the point of doing it if you're not coming from a place of honesty?
Mm-hmm.
It's just disingenuous. So, and then the willingness to do that, the willingness to the right effort, right focus, to be able to just explore. Are you settling for what you're settling for? Do you want more? I think we all want more, all of us. What does that look
Mm-hmm.
like? What does that look like for us? What is more for us? For me, I just want more of everything, of all the good stuff. More harmony, more tranquility, more peace, more love, more humility, more life affirming experiences. And long may that continue. And I'm very aware that life happens to me, I'm part of life. And sometimes I get a curveball to
Yep.
keep me on my toes, to keep me on my toes. And it's what do I do with that? Do I just endure? And what does that look like? And how am I doing that? How do I, how am how am I sitting in life? Am I able, do I have certain skills that I can navigate these curveballs of life, when it's maybe the the guy up my ass in the car, or, you know, the woman who's taken the last whatever in the grocery store and I was about to pick it up and she suddenly snatched it from me. I don't think I've ever had that happen to me. Oh no, I had it in a laundrette actually.
Okay.
When I was about to transfer my wet washing into a tumble dryer. And the guy knew I was about to do it and he quickly freaking slammed in front of me. I was like,
Mm.
mate, you saw what I was about to do there? What is it? I said, "Oh, right. Is this how" I was in a really mellow mood that day, and I was like, "Oh, is this how this is this how you play it? Is this how you do it, right? Is this how you go about your life? Okay, right. You have it. You obviously need it more than I do." And I was really sort of but then, am I being a pussy? You know, do I need to just slam his head into the dryer and start doing a Vinnie Jones and slamming the dryer door on his head? Yeah, you want this dryer? You would have this fucking dryer, mate. Whack, whack. Sorry, that's all acting out. That's playing out in my head. That's where my head goes sometimes. I wouldn't actually do that. Disclaimer, I would not actually do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
I've never slammed someone's head into a dryer door.
no. I really like what you've talked about there in terms of openness. I think it's I think it's that understanding of life. Like you said, it's not, you know, there are there are highs and lows. And it's not, you know, you can't go through life just existing. There's always going to be curveballs, and there's always going to be, I don't know, what was the opposite of a curveball, but you know, it's
I don't know. A gift.
yeah. So you know, that's what life is. You have gifts and you have curveballs, and it's finding a balance within that and tolerating the negativity and the positivity and
Mm.
understanding it and not getting caught up in the drama of it all.
Yeah,
You know,
non-attachment.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah.
non-attachment. Have we got the ability to not attach to drama?
Mm,
And I think it can be quite intoxicating drama
yeah,
because um because it can be. You know, it
yeah,
means we don't have to sit with ourselves.
yeah,
You know, it's a distraction from actually just being with ourselves. If we're caught up in other, you know, I try and stay away from people that all they want to do is talk about their dramas over and over all day long because they're just reliving the thing that's happened probably a week ago and they're just stuck in it. You know, that's total attachment. That's addiction.
yeah, yeah.
Addiction to drama. I don't want to be around that. I have to deal with enough drama in my life for work. To, you know, I don't need that outside of work, man. I want just a nice, calm, chill
Yeah,
day after that, you know. Ah, yeah.
nice.
What do you reckon? Do you reckon we've
Yeah, I reckon that's a good point to finish. What have you got planned for the rest of the day?
um I was gonna go for a roll. I was gonna go for a skate. I've got a new setup, so I was gonna put fresh wheels on I wanna say fresh concrete, but there's a skate park over the way, along the coast. So it's a nice coastal drive down to St. Ives.
Hmm.
They've got a wicked skate park there. It's not the crime scene where I snapped my wrist last time.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm just gonna I feel like I got a little bit of an apprehension to skating at the minute, and I need to get
Yeah.
back on the board and just jam. You know, I'm just gonna cruise, gonna surf the concrete waves in the park. Nothing mental, nothing too crazy. But I know what I'm like. Once I get going, I'll be like, oh fuck it, just start shredding the shit out of it. So that's what I'm doing.
Cool.
Yeah, you?
Yeah, I've got some people coming around to bring me grapes and see how I am. So that'll be nice. Yeah, just still recovering.
Sounds lovely.
Energy
So
for the day.
gonna have a Roman day and have grapes fed to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how I recover.
I
I
could
need
see you
someone
as
with a
a
fan.
Yeah, I could see you as a Roman emperor actually.
Oh yeah, I'd like that. It'd be really nice.
Yeah, I watched The Life of Brian.
Did you?
Yeah, the other day. I love it. It's such a good film. Controversial, I know, but I love it. It's so good. Monty Python at their best.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It
Very
is a
good.
great film.
Right, Mr. Rice. Keep well, keep recovering, and see you on the next one, man.
Will do. And yourself. Take care. And yeah, and don't shred too hard.
I
You know
will.
what happened last time.
I know.
You take care of
See you
yourself.
soon, man.
Bye bye.
Bye.